Hello, woodchucks and farmers. Welcome back to Oceanside Forest, where the sawmill's been doing its thing. I sold all the pallets that were in there, and I thought I was going to get up to like 100,000. Yeah, I got up to like almost 350,000. And we're currently making more pallets because I cut down all the trees that were in that clearing up there, and I kind of made a pathway down to the corner. I continued on up and cleared all the trees out. I think I got about 40 or 50 trees cut. Not quite. I think maybe like 40. Yeah. So I think we were at 502. Now we're at 549. Billy's going to come by here and clear the stumps shortly because we're going to be working that field today. Well, in this episode, not in the month of December. We're going to zip all the way to April and not do anything other than the sawmill's going to be a little bit busy. Where we go? Yeah, I had about 250,000 liters of wood in here from all the trees that came from up there. So that's going to produce rather well. It'll give us a little bit more money. I actually have enough money to buy the seed drill that we want. So that's why I'm just going to zip right to April. I don't want to be doing a whole bunch of lumber work all the way for the next 4 months. So we want to get to do some farming, of course. And I think since we're only starting with 8 chickens, with those 2 fields up there, that might be enough feed for the year. And then, of course, we got the field that's over there that we kind of been working on, like from episode 3 to 5 or whatever, and then that one up there. So we're just going to call it a winter. I was going to say call it a night. Let's call it a winter. Yeah, so by the way, these pallets of firewood are 2,000 liters apiece. Let's see, we sold 3. This is the 4th pallet that we got here. So it's making firewood. Pretty good ratio, actually. Not too bad. Let's open up the door here. Can we jump in here? There we go. And then close there. There we go. So we're just going to go ahead and it doesn't matter what time we're sleeping to because we're just going to go right back to bed. We're kind of like a bear at this point. We're just going to hibernate. I'm actually trying to see if it's going to snow. If it does snow, we may peek outside just to have a quick look. But no snow yet. Looks like it's going to snow today, but bye-bye January. Sleep is currently not possible. I never really tried to sleep right back to back. How much time do I have to advance before I can sleep again? I don't think I've ever tried to do that before. So that's kind of weird. Oh, there we go. So maybe it's got advanced time just a little bit. Oh, we got some snow. How much snow do we get? I don't know. It's too dark out. Can't see nothing because we're taking some Z's. And we're getting more snow. Let me slow down time here. Let's take a peek outside. We are into actually February. Sometimes we got to give it a minute. It is 26 degrees out. Because when you speed up time and the layer of the ground changes from one condition to another, sometimes the map has to update. Is it going to update? Oh, look at all the firewood we got. And we still have wood in the building. So that's still producing some firewood. That is going to be good to sell, as we know, in December. But I may sell that early on. Still may get a good price on it. So it looks like the snow is not going to appear. Let's just leave the door open. I think we're good. All right, let's go to March. More snow. We're getting a lot of snow, but it's not accumulating at all on the ground. Well, I mean, it could be, but it could be evaporating a little while after it snows, too. Because we're just zipping on through the time here. It's 34 degrees out. Oh, quickly, there's snow on the ground, but it's probably going to evaporate really quickly because it's above freezing. So it's probably going to go bye-bye. So all the firewood is now been made from the original 30,000 liters. We know this sawmill has gone to the wood that we had. Probably be better if I just go here and get a rough idea, which is hard to do. Let's see here. Billy is back. So we got about $100,000 worth of planks. Yeah, this is going to be good. That's going to help us out in case I need some cash. So yeah, this is looks like the snow's kind of hanging around here in March, which, let's see, what could we plant in March on this map? Not wheat and barley. That's only can be done in the fall. We could have done oats, sunflowers, and all that, but yeah, we're focusing on the 3 grain types of wheat, barley, sorghum. And I'm not checking the used page just because we're going to buy everything new at this point. Buying used is not too bad when you're kind of watching your money. I mean, we're kind of watching it here. We're kind of watch it come in and go right back out. But we have no problem making money here with the sawmill that we have. All right, so April is going to be a busy month. Great demand. We don't deliver there. We don't deliver there. Let's shut that door. All right, I didn't tell Billy to come take care of the stumps, did we? All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Remove stumps. He only charges us for every 100 that he does, so we paid the previous set, so we just got to get up to another 100. So the first thing that we need to do today is grab the John Deere and the John Deere plow and head up the hill. Now, I have a little bit of a question if this can do the job up the hill. So the plow requires 320, and I think we got a 373 engine in this 7R. But once we start going uphill, that could be an issue. So if it is an issue, not that big of a deal because we got the good old Versatile back at the main farm. And we can, call that up here. We will be using the Versatile later on because we're going to be planting our sorghum. Let's go ahead and unfold this. It's kind of weird when I've been working in this open area. When you're going uphill, it doesn't seem that steep. But when I start coming back downhill, it looks twice as steep as it did when I'm going uphill. Kind of weird how that does that, but it's the way it is. So allow to create field. So when I go forward, we should be creating a field. Perfect. So I'm going uphill on the left-hand side because it's not as steep as that side over there. At least I don't think so. And I do want to give myself a little bit of room on the sides. So this will be the year, of course, once we get the first harvest done. Yeah, we got to put down one of the chicken pens, which is like 80,000. We're going to need a silo for the grain. I'm trying to figure out how big of a silo am I going to need. Definitely, I think over 1 million liters would be very good. Yeah, I've been looking at some silos trying to figure it out. So I got a little bit of time because, yeah, April, we're going to get these 2 fields plowed, and well, the other field is plowed, planted. And then, of course, I'll be doing some work in between because after I buy the seed drill, the next big purchase is the harvester and the header. And all that together is going to be roughly about $1 million, which is a lot of money, but the sawmill, as long as I can get a good amount of wood in there, it's not that big of a deal. We should be able to afford it, and I can take a couple months. I could have done another set of wood over the winter, but I really wanted to get back into farming this episode and creating a field this episode and, plant some crops with some new equipment. Trying to keep the series interesting as we go along, episode per episode. Oh yeah, and by the way, the drill that we're using, I think I said previously it's a 23 meter wide. I may have said it was a 23 meter. I actually went ahead, I guess, and went with the 18 meter wide because I didn't want to go extremely big. I can in the future. I mean, 18 is, it's a big drill. But in the future, if we get really, really big fields, we can always upgrade later on. But right now, currently we got a 6 meter wide and we're going up to 18. Now, I should have enough money to buy it. The question is, though, I don't know if I have enough money to buy the fertilizer and seed afterwards. So we'll definitely start selling some stuff out of the sawmill again. And I think after I buy the harvester and header, because those will be like the major purchases, that's when I may go ahead and put all the products in the sawmill to sell directly. That way I don't have to keep going back and forth all the time, which I don't mind. I may just do the beams at first because the beams are the ones that don't stack on top of one another on the trailers. So I'll probably start with that. Maybe even, I don't know if I want to sell the firewood because the firewood definitely has a peak season, which is the winter time. So I may not want to do that. You know what? I probably shouldn't have created the field all the way to the corner because that's where I'm going to be coming up. But that may be just for today because I think in the future I may be just coming going up and around the road to get to here. Yeah, definitely want to get the chickens going. Someone also did comment, we can kind of keep track of the chickens and make sure they're reproducing or something to that effect. It's going to be kind of difficult because we're going to be running the Animal Enhance mod, and I'll kind of go over that a little bit more once we get into the chickens. But yeah, we can actually overfill the chicken coops with this mod by a little bit. And of course, the chickens can pass away for lack of food, all that, but that I don't think food's going to be an issue unless I forget to feed them. And I think their age limit, but I think the mod just had an update to where the age limit got increased a little bit on the animals. And I'm not too worried about the animals passing away from old age, because I think the max I saw was like 16 months, but it got updated, like I just said. I don't know if I'll be here that long. I mean, on Hinterland, we were there just over 5 years. So, I don't know. I think it all depends on how the series goes and how the views go and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of how I depend on how long a series should last. And I usually go longer than I probably should. But I can't help myself. I like having fun. Except, there's been a couple maps where it's like, yeah, I just had to, complete the task at hand. Hinterland was one of them that we just kind of left. Yeah, the Maze Plus didn't didn't feel like my type of mod right now. Didn't fit my kind of, the way it was working. I mean, the mod worked as intended, but not the way I would prefer it to. So, yeah, I would like to see the hay work done a little bit differently. But yeah, here, we're just trying to get, like I said, our goal is to reach 10,000 chickens, and we're starting with 8. So I don't know how long it's going to take them to reproduce up to 10,000. I mean, it may sound like a lot, but you got to realize if we got 5,000 chickens and they reproduce every 2 months, that's, even if you have 1,000 chickens and they reproduce every 2 months, that doesn't take long to get up to 10,000. So before we drill this field today, we're going to go back up to the farm and get the soil sampler. I'm going to grab our soil samples from here. And while I got out, you know what? I'll probably do that in between episodes. We're probably just going to focus on this meadow right here, this episode. And the next episode, I might save that field for another day. Actually, I should be able to plant sorghum in May as well, right? It's usually 2 months that you get to plant. Yeah, so I may do that next month. So I don't want to get all the farming in one episode. I kind of want to spread it out a little bit. Because we're looking at harvest time of July. Technically, barley can be harvested as early as June. But last fall, I planted the barley in the second month, not the first month. So I think the barley will be ready in July. And the wheat will be ready in August. And the sorghum will be ready in September, I think. Now this plow definitely is a nice plow. I liked it on Hinterland after you guys told me about it. And I was looking on the mod hub for something, you always go on the mod hub looking for something that catches your eye or whatever, and nothing really did. I needed something that had some decent width to it. Because the only time we're going to be plowing is when we are creating fields. And we should be able to when I go in the field. It's not going to say plow required. Or plowing required, and no, it doesn't. Unlike the other 2 fields, which I created with a cultivator, and those fields do require to be plowed. So I'll have to replow those fields. Now, the one thing I'm not going to get in this field here or the other field is weeds, but I will have to bring the weed sprayer up here and just to get the scoring kind of situated. Kind of nice to see the deer still come on out of the woodlands just a little bit. Of course, they're probably upset that we're taking away their grass a little bit as well. But there's plenty of it to go around. Now, so right now, this John Deere is actually performing rather well. We do have 50 extra horsepower under the hood to manage this plow. But it's doing rather well going uphill. Which makes me feel somewhat better because of the versatile and the drill. Although the versatile, I forgot how much horsepower. We bumped that up to like 680. And I think the drill requires 450. I think. So, I mean, we got way more horsepower. Well, the good news is, looking at this, it's this vegetation that's on the ground. There was a couple times to where when I was picking logs up here, they were kind of hidden a little bit. Oh yeah, and speaking of the logs, someone did comment about the logs in the trailer doing the funny things, and after they said the comment, it kind of rang a bell. They found out that at least they think it's the straps causing the problem. It's like, yeah, I think I remember that back when FS22 came out, that someone said the straps seemed to be causing the problem. I've had some weird things going up and down this hill with logs, picking them up. I was going downhill, and all of a sudden the truck started to, turn to the side like I was hitting something. And I couldn't figure out what it was. I'm like, well, I do got the straps on, so I unstrapped it, and the logs just kind of like exploded out of the back of the trailer. And when something like that happens to me, I can just shrug it off because we got the auto-loading log trailer, which is just kind of nice when something like that happens. If I loaded them up manually, and that's the only way I could do it, and the logs exploded out of the back of the trailer, I'd be like, alright, well, hopefully the game hasn't saved for a while, and exit out and reload. So I don't want to do it all over again. Is that a deer that's there, or is that... Oh, it was deer in the vegetation. I was like, wait a minute, I got rid of all the stumps. I thought it was a little stump sticking up at first. I just saw some brown in there. Now, the other clearing that we saw a few episodes ago, I think that terrain is very unforgiving over there, so I probably won't be doing a field over there. I've been trying to think of something I could do over there. And don't say grapes or olives over there. When I got introduced in FS22, I'm like, oh, this is great. And then after working it, I'm like, I don't think it's my type of crop I want to work with. Occasionally, yes, it's interesting. I may not do nothing at all with that clearing over there. But always keeping my eye on the mod hub, because you never know what's going to come up. That be very interesting. All right, so we have created another field. And there was no logs in here, which I'm surprised. I figured I missed one somewhere. Alright, let's fold up the plow. And I think I'll bring this back to the main farm, because I'm going back there anyways to get the soil sampler. I will be trading in this John Deere at some point, because like I said, I would like to buy all new used stuff. I said all new used stuff. It's not Cold Crest Valley. All new stuff. And I think I was looking at a Deutz 7 Series tractor that we can get. We can get narrow tires on that, which is kind of key for spraying for weeds. So I figured, yeah, let's get a Deutz. Try to mix up the tractor brands. Keep them on, mix up. Like, why haven't I used... I mean, yes, we got a Deutz on the farm currently. We used that for the first episode and a half or so. Oh, how do the crops look over here? They look like they're doing well. And this is our main farm area. It's slowly growing here. Yeah, let me just drop this off right here, as you would on the run. That drill, I guess I could actually sell that drill. Yeah, let me go ahead and sell that drill now, because we are buying a new one today. pretty much after we get done soil sampling. It's going to only take about a minute, or actually a second. And empty, empty. Let's come over to here, and yeah, I left everything right where I did when I took the thumbnail for last episode. Let's open that up. Yeah, I probably should have... Well, no, that's right, because I got a restriction. I can't lease anything. I said I probably should have just leased this, but yeah, we don't have any leasing on this series. Here we go. And come on into here. Oh, I got to find the trigger, but it should be, yeah, right there. Repair for $10. And the value is, oh, that's, oh, wow, 94,000. Yes, please. Well, that means I won't actually have to sign anything from the sawmill today, because that definitely put us over the hump. Now the silo is going to go down where the chickens are going to be, because that makes perfect sense. We're just getting grain for the chickens. So I might as well have the silo down there, and that when I feed the chickens, it's right there. This up here is just going to be mostly sheds and the repair shop, of course. As for like a wash station, I think I'm just going to use this as standard pressure washer. Because it's cheap. And it just works. I don't need nothing fancy. Just something to clean the vehicles. I may even have one down here at the sawmill. I will be having sheds down here as well, because I think like the grain trailer, the logging trailer, and the Profiliner trailer might as well stay down here because it's all being used down here. And all this space is for the silo and chickens. Like I said, we're just shooting for a minimum of 10,000. If it explodes with the chickens much more, we can just keep on adding them as long as we can feed them. Now, the only thing I test really quickly is getting the eggs out of the chicken coop is going to be kind of interesting. I think the autoloader, we're definitely going to be autoloading. I'm not going to be doing any kind of front loader kind of a system to get the eggs out of the chicken coop. Yeah, so how many samples do we need for this? This field looks huge, but yeah, we got the modded soil sampler, so it's going to be like 2 samples. And this isn't even the biggest radius of the soil samplers. There we go. And then send those on in. And just like that, we got soil samples sent in. So by the time we come back, we'll know what type of soil's here. The deer is trying to play with the other deer. Stop it. Stop playing with the deer. Alright. I'm just going to leave this parked on down here. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to try to make a road up through there with some switchbacks, or, you know, might be easier. It may not be as steep over there up to the field, but I mean, just for purposes for today, I'm going up through there because it was shorter. But I think in the long run, we may be taking the long road around. Let's go grab the, okay, yep, versatile. Let's go fire up this bad boy. Now the question is, I hope the path I made up through there is wide enough. Actually, you know what? I got to come back to this main farm anyways to grab the seed and fertilizer and top off the tank that we're buying. So we'll probably just go up and around, and that way you can kind of see, I was going to say see the rest of the map a little bit. We're just going to see trees. But, you know, I really haven't driven on the roads up and around that corner either, so we might see something unique that I didn't know that was there. I don't know, for a big tractor, that horn is a little disappointing, but yeah. Anyways, seed drills. All right, we're going to scroll on down. Like I said, this is on the Mod Hub. It's by Giants themselves. So we need the seed tanker and fertilizer tanker itself. Wheel setup. I can't change it. We got big tires. Those look kind of interesting. Looks like they would have good grip, I would think. Not much to do there, but 99,000. Okay, and then got to get the drill for it, 213,000. And we got a whole bunch of options over here to choose from. So, yeah, requires 450 horsepower, 18 meter wide. Working speed is 11. Let's go ahead and buy that. And we're still left with 127, which is great because that means we're starting to work towards the harvester. And I don't think I've shown you the harvester yet. And guess what? I'm not going to show it to you today either. I'm going to keep you well, you may have already know. I mean, I think I did say it's a case. It's a case tractor. All right, I only have to hook this up once, I hope. Oh, no, okay, wait a minute. There we go. And let me go ahead and switch this over to sorghum. And off we go. Now, with the seed tank that we got, as long as we fill up when we leave the farm with it, I think we'll have more than enough seed and fertilizer to do jobs. If we find out we don't, I may go ahead and get ourselves a chaser wagon, and I could, fill up with that with fertilizer and seed and top this off. But we'll see. All right, so now I got to take the, I would say, a long track back to the main farm, but we need to go back there and give this some wonderful seed and fertilizer, and we can start planting in the sorghum. I was a little concerned when I was choosing out this drill because I was trying to figure out if the roads were wide enough and the trees weren't that close to the side of the road. But it looks like so far so good. Now, let's get the pallets that we took out of the older drill. I say older drill. I only had maybe about half an hour on it. Open this on up. And hopefully this autofills. Okay, so it is filling. That's good. Loading up with the fertilizer. Okay, it's switching on its own. I'm not sure what it's doing. Looks like it's spazzing out. Might have been hitting the ground a little bit there. Was I not close enough? Okay, maybe I wasn't close enough because once I got out of range, I guess. And now I got to get close enough to the seed. Articulating tractor with hauling two implements behind me. This could be interesting. I hope I don't have to back up anywhere. Alright, now let's just come right on over to here to the hut. And I hope this doesn't get confused what needs to go in here. Ooh, don't tell me I can't use this. Alright, actually, how about if I fold this up? This I did not test because, it's the way I am. Yeah, I did not think about this. I just figured, like, every other tank here would just fill on up. Okay, wait a minute. I got it close enough to do the fertilizer. Alright, now it's got... Okay. Been a while since I used a seed tank. Okay, now I gotta make sure I put it into the seed. Okay, why won't the seed work? How about here? Oh, that's the fertilizer. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's a little finicky. First, you know, it's the first time, so it's just going to take a moment to get used to that. So it does hold 10,000 liters of seed and 4,600 liters of fertilizer. So I think that's a good ratio, actually, for doing some drilling work. All right, let's take a little bit of a trip, shall we? Yeah, we should have plenty of room on the side of the roads, looks like. Oh, you bogged down there a little bit. Didn't expect to lose any any speed at all. I mean, we didn't lose much. So eventually, you know, I want to put like a field off like every road just to separate them all. So we kind of, you know, I don't want all the fields together, so we're not really traveling around the map. Well, this is interesting. Why do we have the road going around like this? I mean, plenty of room, but I'm just kind of curious of why it was done like that. So I think we found 2 blocks of cheese, right? I picked up the one down at the port. I mean, there might be more down there. I'm not going around looking for them. And we found one on top of the rock that was just next to the seed hut that we got our seed and fertilizer from. And I like the fact that there's different types of trees around the map. It's not all just one type of tree. Now, I do believe we got to go this way. Uh-oh. Roadblock. Can I sneak through you? I mean, I could just get my chainsaw and cut down the trees, but... whoops, I'm watching the left side and didn't see the right side. Another roadblock. Nope. Don't. Let's see if we can sneak through. If not, we'll just get the chainsaw out and... Alright, we need the chainsaw. Well, that sounds like a big tree. Let's throw these over here. It sounds just like the big trees. I think giants need to just add one more sound clip to their file, which would be a big tree and a small tree. Kind of hope I'm taking the correct road here. I'm just winging it. But I think this is the right way we need to go. Now here's the power line we're coming up on. And really, I probably could have left all the trees on the map and just made a field on either side of the power line. And that probably would have got us enough crop for the chickens. Yep, this is the road that we want. It is a little bit of a ways around. So if I can kind of get just a little bit of a road that goes straight up and down from the production yard on up to this field. Wouldn't be too bad. But, I didn't know. I think we'll try when I get done. I'll try to go down through to see if I made it wide enough for this. Not that I was thinking about it. Wasn't really planning ahead. I just wanted to get the field cleared. Anyways, we are here. Let's start unfolding this 18-meter wide drill. The other drill I was looking at, are you ready? It was a John Deere. But I figured, okay, we got enough John Deeres. And when I thought I was going with the Versatile, now you can kind of see why I thought about the Versatile for this set. Not just because it came up for sale, but the color coordination is almost spot on. And there is like I said, there's a bigger drill. Wait, do I need to turn this on? No, not the drill. I know turn the drill on, but I was thinking the air cart. But there is a bigger drill, like a 30 some odd meter wide. I'm like, I don't want to go too big, because I don't want to get the field done in a pass or two. And this is what's going to take me a moment to get used to. Articulating tractors take me a moment to get used to driving in a field. And then I got the air cart and then the drill itself. So I may not cover the entire field. Now, as for getting the pH value done, we will be getting ourselves the Breedle spreader at some point. I'll have to put lime in here to help us on out. Looks like we're not using that much fertilizer, which is good. Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier, that when I go downhill, it looks steeper than when you're going uphill. But definitely, I think when it comes time to harvesting, unless I make this path a little bit wider over here, I'll probably have to drive around as well. And I think that's where the low boy may come in handy. So we're going to get ourselves the low boy for the truck, the Phoenix truck, the Winter Wolf, and transport our big equipment around the map that way. So instead of driving like I did up here, well, this setup I would drive up here, but like the harvester, I can put in the low boy and get that up here rather quickly. Same can be said for the tree harvester. Ooh, this is what I thought this was going to be more than capable. It did slow it down quite a bit, didn't it? So working speed is 11 miles an hour, but we are almost a couple hundred horsepower over the requirement. So this is going to be kind of a concern a little bit with the harvester. What's the harvester going to be able to do? Well, we'll find out when it comes time to harvest in about 5 months' time. Okay, I wasn't expecting to slow down that much. Is it a traction problem? Maybe I wasn't paying attention to the tires. I've been kind of trying to keep my eye on the drill itself. Maybe I'm just not getting good enough traction or something. Because originally, before I knew what drill I was going to use, I was leaning towards, like I said, a big bud, or using the New Holland T9 tractorized tractor, because I figured tracks might be good here, of course. But then when I, like I just said, when I picked up this air cart and then saw the Versatile, like those colors match up perfectly. That'd be a good combo to use. Been a while since I had a setup like this. But then again, you got to start playing on decent sized maps in order to do so. I've been noticing the seed rate at the top is kind of high. Not that that doesn't matter. I'm just trying to... I'm trying to remember myself exactly the soil types and which soils types do well for yields and not. But I pretty much just go with, well, the soil's the way the soil is. And here it's not like, well, let's sell this field and we'll just go buy another one and plant there. Because, yeah, I mean, we own the entire map anyways. And then, two, I got to start cutting down some more trees. And I was thinking about that earlier. I wonder how many trees I'll end up cutting on this series. At times I feel like I cut a whole lot, and then I look at the total, it's like, okay, you know, just over 500 trees. That's a lot of trees, but then again, it's not a lot of trees. Yeah, the tires are slipping. Yeah, they are slipping. Yeah, they are slipping. Uh-oh. Right, wiggle the front end a little bit. Yes, I don't think it's a horsepower issue. I think it's a traction issue. Now, I do believe there are mods out there that I could use, like all-wheel drive and all that kind of stuff. I've never used it on any edition of Farming Simulator. It's been out multiple times. I think going back to 17 is when it came out. I may have to look into that. So anyone that has used that and know what I'm talking about, and I'm sure there's a couple of you out there that do, is that something that would help me out here? So I think that's a traction issue that we got going uphill, not the horsepower issue. Well, actually, even here, working speed should be 11. We're down to 8. All right. I mean, we are reaching top speed again. I want to check in the garage, just to remind myself how much horsepower is actually in here. I did go with a big engine, did I not? Or did I misclick? Or what did I do here? 665 horse. So we are 200 horsepower over the requirement. Okay, I was not expecting all the deer to be coming out into the field this far. I always thought that the deer kind of like hung up towards the wood lines, the field lines. Yeah, forgive my driving. I'm all over the place. Yeah, I think this drill is actually the right size for us because, you know, I'm not getting the field done extremely quick. And the fields this field may get bigger. I don't know, maybe this will be the scale of the fields I should be looking at. I mean, this will be the one, this should be the blueprint. Like, okay, fields this size are probably the perfect size. But now I kind of know the way it's acting here, that also hills are not going to be my best option either. I was not expecting a traction issue because I figured with 8 wheels on the ground, and I don't think I can put any weights on the front. There's nothing on the front of the Versatile to actually add weights. Actually, you know what? That'd be a nice little screenshot. I hate to stop on a hill. You can see the tires give me a good spin there. I mean, also, I would hate to, everyone said, well, yeah, if you get a tractorized tractor, that's going to definitely do you a lot better. I would hate to have to give up this setup the way we got, because it looks really nice. Or I can just keep doing what we've been doing, because it's not taking me that long to get this done. But now I do got questions of, what's the harvester going to do? Stay tuned. We'll find out in September. Well, I just checked back on the stats of the Versatile. It does weigh 20 tons. So you think that would almost be enough weight to get down on those tires to pull this up the hill? Yeah, I just can't put any weight on the front because there's nothing to attach there. Alright, so future planning. Try to avoid the hills. But I'll have another year to go because the fields that we got are the fields that we got for this year. So I got, all of this year. Well, I shouldn't say all of this year because I will probably want to plant wheat and barley, which I do got to figure out the crop rotation as well with those three crops to see if it's if we can find a good rotation just for those three crops alone, or am I going to have to mix in another crop to get a good yield constantly every year? So we should be able to get this field done here with this pass, I think. Yep, should be able to. And then we'll drive on down to the production yard, I think. Yeah, looks like it's wide enough. And then we'll have a look at the crop rotation with the wheat, barley, and sorghum to see if it's a good rotation that we can find. Well, we got one field of sorghum in. And I almost used half of the tank of fertilizer, so I think I got more than enough to get the other field done, because that other field's not nearly as big as this one. We just got to go over and get some soil samples on it, but we'll get to that probably next episode. Also spreading some lime down, we'll get to that as well. Alright, so there we go. We got down the hill. So there was plenty of room to do that. So let's go into crop rotation. So let's see. We got wheat, barley, sorghum. That doesn't really do anything for us. Since it's all cereal crop, I think no matter what order I put it in, it's not going to matter. So if I change that to wheat, barley, it's just one across the board. So if I were to add... canola does a little bit. Sunflowers, but that means I would need a planter and a different header, but that's not that big of a thing. Soybeans actually do something for us. No. Stay away from root crops. We're not doing root crops here. So maybe some soybeans are the best option. All right, how about if we put sorghum in this spot, and then put, yeah, it's not much of a difference. It's just, I mean, I think that's our best rotation in a sense. If I put wheat there, yeah, wheat. How about if I got rid of sorghum completely? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah. All right, I'll have to look at it a little bit more to see if we can get a better yield off that. But that, I think that rotation right there is not bad. at all. Not bad at all. So maybe I'll keep that right there for records. Of course, it's going to take a while to get the rotation down. And like I said, are we going to be here 5 or 6 years? Possibly, I think so. But, 8 years max, I would think. I don't remember parking you like that, but that's okay. But yeah, there we go. So there is our air cart system and our versatile, which, matching colors almost perfectly. And we got our sorghum field in. Just to think, just a little while ago, that was just a meadow. And now it's a sorghum field. And we got soil samples in. You just got, like I said, do the other field next time. I'll probably cut down some more trees just to get the sawmill going. I'm not going to do a whole lot. And I think I may go ahead and start making a field, maybe like up in this general area. Maybe over in this corner here. Possibly. I'll have a look around. And then, yeah, we can just keep on working. But we're farming. We are farming. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here on Oceanside Forest. But until then, have a good one.